Hey guys, it is your boy, God of Caw here, and welcome to another Monster Week Aftermath video. I won't lie, it was an interesting challenge that I put myself into this year. Fey Week. Not much of a big fan of anything fairy related, but I was working on a TTRPG at the time, and I still am in Project D100 Fantasy, so hey, why not? And the only thing that I could think of is things that I had in mind, but I didn't have any full details yet. And that being an encounter scenario and various NPCs, non-player characters that are either enemies or allies. So I thought, hey, why not that? And I won't lie, it was interesting to actually make something like that. It's definitely a lot more different than making just a themed player character. There was a lot happening with that. I had to make the scenario. I had to make up a bunch of things, and I basically invented my version of, well, Fae and their own unique-ish aspect, which was, at the time of that video, was, if I remember right, it was like time, annihilation, where things move a little bit differently within a certain space. It's weird, and that was the idea. Fae are very alien, and as such, what Fae do not make sense but to us. So the way they perceive time and the way that they push it onto others is weird. And you have seen the video, and if you have seen the actual document, you may have seen what I was able to do with that. And I won't lie, it's not my best work. I mean, obviously, somebody's first try at things isn't their best. I could have done a better map, like that battle map. I wanted to add in like trees and such, and or other buildings that were mentioned during the before battle section, but time wasn't on my side. I had a month to make the document, a month to film, record, and edit the video, and then publish it for all of you to see. So obviously, it wasn't gonna be my best work. I am only one person, and I had other things happening too. I had the Let's Play videos I was filming and or editing at that time, and also real life things. I have a job, for God's sake. I have other responsibilities, so I was lucky even that I even was able to make something like FEY forever every year for Project D100 Fantasy. I was lucky to be able to come up with that idea when I was reading out the word Fey, Fey, and the acronym that I got out of it, forever every year. And I thought, what would Fey do with this? Well, obviously a yearly torture fest to all that are not Fey that will last 1 year within this misty field that on the outside of it is only one night, which is weird, which honestly Fey are weird. They're very weird in how they are, and hopefully I was able to reflect that, even though it was somewhat horrifying what the result ended up being. And also I got to experiment with special classes, another thing that I will be implementing eventually. And on other things that I hypothetically could have actually done for Fey Week. I was literally thinking of these things while Fey Week was happening. So first off, Leshy. As we know, the Leshy is a forest spirit in a sense who watches over their section of the woods, right? And the only Leshy that I knew in terms of popular culture was Leshy from Inscription. And knowing how they are able to manipulate the forest world that is his version of Inscription, it got me thinking, right? What if, hypothetically, what if the maker of the Fey is this Leshy? Now, this is also going into spoilers of how the world of the Gaia and their residents are made. So the creator god is the only thing that can make things into reality. So what are the gods of these other things when only the creator god can actually make things? Well, lesser spirits are able to ask this being during the time of creation if it would allow them to make this thing that can exist within the world. Basically, the creator god is the artist, and these minor gods are the commissioners, right? They have the ideas, and the creator god puts them into reality. And Leshy had a lot of ideas, right? He basically created everything that, like, you see within FEY Forever Every Year. He made the Fey Forest, he made the Satyrs, he made the Pans, he made the Kelpie Knights as a result. Anything, and heck, even Oberon and the Titania. Anything that is Fey, he basically written down the ideas for and just gave it all to the creator god, and he's like, okay, we can make this work, but under these certain conditions, and so it happened. Right? So that's basically the off-handed idea that I had for Leshy, but I couldn't really make a video about it because, well, you know my videos that I actually make that are scripted, right? I put in a lot of time and effort into making these, and I have other responsibilities, so that also takes a bit to actually make them. A second idea was the hags. Now, you have seen plenty of hag videos as is, and this is the second idea that I came up with, but it's not really as fleshed out as Leshy is. So, the idea for the hag is that they are a high tier enemy NPC, right? And one is already as powerful as a tier 2 NPC enemy at that point, right? But when they are all together, where there are 3 or more hags within the same combat encounter, the idea is then each hag is able to unleash their coven abilities, and this could vary depending on the type of hag within the coven itself. So the idea is, if you have 3 or more of the same hag, the ability is incredibly amplified. Or if there are multiple different hags within the same coven, their abilities are more diverse, but not as powerful. You understand that idea, right? It's similar to the whole coven spells idea and so on. I like that idea a lot, and like Fey Week has honestly awoken me to a lot of ideas that I wish to implement into Project D100 Fantasy eventually, but I still have to work on the ideas that I already have in my notes, which are the classes, the weapons, the various accessories, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that was the aftermath of Fey Week, and it really inspired me a bit more than Dragon Week ever has, because honestly, dragons are literally the most easiest monster type to be able to design around, because we know what dragons are. We have a cultural identity that is varied, sure, but we have a core root that just branches out. There is a core idea that we can latch on. Fae, however, really weird stuff that you can come up with anything and then you think, unique? I understand that, and Fae could totally do that, because Fae are just weird little guys that just love to mess around with other people, and just because it's fun. They don't care about our human morals, and thus whatever they do makes total sense to them because they are Fae. They are really weird, and it really exemplifies the idea that Fae are so weird that they are actually dangerous. That the woods and the outside that Fae reside are dangerous because we don't know what is out there. Heck, even back in the day, the idea of Fey still kind of matches in real life because, honestly, to a child, the outside world is incredibly dangerous. Even in the woods, even in like various areas of this world, the Fae are a ever-looming omen because the outside world is so dangerous, and Fae just makes sense to just embody that. So, yeah, this was... You could call this another cause thoughts, but the main theme for these Aftermath videos is to just let all of this out about the theme of the week. That is Monster Week. And honestly, I did enjoy making this year's Monster Week video. And heck, I plan on maybe eventually doing a hypothetical what if I did a Kraken Week or a Dragon Week entry for Project D100 Fantasy, since the idea for my own TTRPG hasn't really been announced on the internet when those events were happening. Heck, I wasn't even planning on doing a Kraken Week video, period, because there were other things happening then where I just couldn't think of an idea for Kraken Week. I didn't have a TTRPG that I was truly fond of where I could put my own idea for it. So yeah, that might happen, or maybe the two other things might happen that are going to be my hypothetical 50 subscribers special. Again, I can't believe that is happening. I can't believe I have reached well over 50 subscribers. I am almost at 60, but I'm not gonna make a special around that number because it might happen way too soon. So, with all of this said, thank you guys so much for watching my Fey Week video. I really do appreciate it, really do. And also, do not be afraid to check out my itch.io page for the FEY Forever Every Year document if you haven't. I worked hard on making that, even though it was made on a limited time budget. So, with all that said, everybody, this is God of Ka signing off. Ow!